A lot of athletes have done speed training before. They've run sprints, they've done drills, they've worked hard, and yet they're not actually more explosive or faster. That's not because speed is hard to improve. Acceleration, in particular, can improve relatively quickly. The problem is that most speed training doesn't actually teach acceleration or mechanics. It just exposes athletes to running fast and hopes something changes. Today, I want to explain why most speed training fails to improve acceleration, and more importantly, what acceleration development should actually look like when it's done right. Acceleration is a skill, not a workout. The first mistake is treating acceleration like conditioning. Acceleration isn't about how tired an athlete gets. It's about how effectively they apply force into the ground and what direction. That makes acceleration a skill, not a workout. Skills need clear intent, correct positions, feedback, repetition done well. Most athletes are never taught acceleration as a skill. They're just told, go fast. One of the biggest misconceptions is that sprinting actually improves acceleration. It doesn't. If an athlete's mechanics are off, sprinting faster just reinforces the same mistakes at a higher rate of speed. That's why some athletes can train hard for months and still accelerate the same way that they always have. Effort without direction doesn't create change. Most acceleration coaching breaks down in 3 places. First, athletes are giving too many cues. Drive your knees, move your arms faster, stay low, explode. None of those cues are wrong, but too many cues at once overwhelm the athlete. Acceleration improves when athletes understand what they're trying to change, not when they're buried in instructions. Second, coaches confuse movement with improvement. An athlete looks busy, they look intense, they're sweating, but acceleration hasn't changed a bit. Just because something looks like speed work doesn't mean speed is being developed. Then third, athletes are being rushed. Acceleration requires patience in the first few steps. When athletes rush, they pop up early, lose projection, and force goes in the wrong direction. Speed development slows down before it even gets started. Good acceleration coaching starts with intent. Before worrying about drills or exercises, the athlete needs to understand what acceleration is supposed to feel like and what it looks like. Acceleration is about pushing the ground back, projecting the body forward, applying force in the proper direction. Once the intent is clear, everything else becomes easier. Next comes position. Acceleration has very specific body positions early. Forward lean, proper shin angles, hips loaded and projecting correctly. If those positions aren't present, acceleration won't improve, no matter how hard the athlete works. Good coaches clean up positions before chasing speed. Then comes progression. Acceleration isn't taught all at once. It's developed from static positions to controlled movement to full speed application. When progression is rushed, mechanics break down. When progression is respected, athletes improve quickly. Acceleration responds quickly because it's heavily driven by the nervous system. Once the brain understands how to apply force in the right direction, speed changes show up fast. That's why athletes often feel lighter or more powerful early in a well-structured speed program. They're not stronger yet, they're just more efficient. Acceleration isn't just for sprinters. Every sport involves first step quickness, closing space, creating separation, and reacting explosively. If acceleration is poor, athletes are always a step behind, no matter how skilled they are. When acceleration improves, everything else looks faster too. Most speed training fails because it doesn't actually teach acceleration. Acceleration isn't about drills. It's about intent, position, and force direction. When those are coached correctly, exercise becomes tools, not guesses. That's when speed training stops feeling random and starts producing real results. If acceleration hasn't improved before, it's usually because your athlete isn't capable. It's because acceleration was never taught the proper way.